Makes sense? Much better? So that's ultimately the same way you interact with AI. You come in, you go in with a plan, even if it's like we're just going to create something random today. As long as you have a vision or plan, you can actually make things possible. But if you go in blind, if you go in without a plan, then it takes over and it does very stupid things and very chaotic. So ultimately, again, this was a little fun exercise just to get you to think about what it requires to actually utilize AI efficiently. You do have those leadership skills that you've been practicing your whole career, they kick in. Making sure that things are communicated clearly, expectations are set, and then kind of launching and then supervising to make sure things stay on track. Those skill sets matter when you utilize an AI. Yes, if you have any questions, just raise your hand. I'll catch you because it's an hour, and I have some time at the end, but I might not get to the questions. So if you have questions, just say, and I'll point to you and we'll chat. Yes.
With rec departments, do you need to buy to pay for a subscription, get more for it? Does the department buy it, or does each individual employee have to buy their own because it's learning your kind of work, or can you all share it?
So when you're buying it for the organization, I'll say that the organizations like IT department should actually provide the service because they can get it similar to if you're using Microsoft or Google, you can get from the IT department end, the server end, you can actually set it up so that each individual user will have their own version, but at least it comes with the corporate guardrails in place. Because if you get everyone to buy it individually, then they individually have to set it up and then things get unbalanced and not standard. So, yeah. Awesome. All right, perfect. Okay, so with that said, let's get to some demos. One make sure you guys leave here feeling like, wow, amazing, cool. So we have a couple demos. I don't know if we get to all of them, but we'll try. So first, who's heard of Canva? Great, perfect. Did you know Canva had AI?
Yeah.
Have you been using Canva AI? Okay, perfect. All right. So the reason I mention that is that with AI, I come back to the same word, transformation. It's not just transforming the workflows, changing what you've always done, but also making that workflow more fluid, more efficient, and so on. So let's jump into this. So some of you might have seen this trick before. If you have, I think you've seen it, but you've never seen it before. So I'll start with ChatGPT here. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so I am I'm on a paid version. I'll use instant response. So what is really, really cool is I'm going to do this by just talking to it. Hey, I'm currently at a presentation, so I want to demo some skills. But to do that, let's build a background for an organization for this particular demo. That's about right. Perfect. It would have taken me a while to type that out. So again, coming back to the fact that now with AI, we can move at the speed of voice. I like that it says remembering. Remember the fact that AI now has memory. A lot of these components have memory. So it knows that I like to present about AI. So it's like, okay, I'm going to pull from data this lovely fictional organization I created, the North River Community Recreation Center. Now, if you want to follow along, if you're on your phone, usually just to make this a bit more tactile. So if you're on your phone, if you go into ChatGPT, you can pull your organization's website. So whatever your organization's website is, you can pull the website and say, hey, could you construct a background information based on this website? We're going to try to run through some demo exercises. So if you say that, so get the website, tell it what you want to do, it'll come up with something like this. Not exactly this, obviously, each one's different, but that way I think if you follow along with some of these, it might be fun to try. So for those following along with phones, we'll keep things in ChatGPT to make things easier for you. Usually, like I said, I'll get people's active hours and we'll jump around the tools, but I'll make your life easy in this case. Awesome. So we've come up with this lovely organization called the North River Community Recreation Center. Sounds like a real place. Yes?
How did it know to come up with a correct, did you already put that in?
So yeah, I do demos a lot, so it knows from memory to pull this particular demo out. So that's why I said to make it more practical to your situation, you could put in your organization website or on any organization website, and then say that you want to demonstrate AI skills, build out a background file from this. So but in this particular case, yeah, it took a while to just come up. Well, I didn't take a while. I used AI to create this initially, but I didn't want to have to recreate a new one each time. So it just says, oh, this is what you want. So just pull it out. Good question, though. Yes.
Now, you said you've already built this in, but I noticed, like, is it possible, like, if you're using, creating like a file for your company on its own, it seems to automatically pull that information into the system? Is that accurate? Is that what it's actually doing? It's like getting that through the internet and pulling it on it?
Sure, you know what, that's different. How about that? This is why I like, this is what makes these kind of sessions different, because I get to ask real life questions. So, let's say that we want to demo, so, you know, we're the ARFC, right? Let's pull out this. So this is the official website. So I'm going to copy paste the URL, and I'll practice what I bridge. So, let's see here. Saying, I want to build a demo based on the following website. We want to test out what kind of skills AI can do right now. Could you, using this website, create a background file? Oh, there we go. Background. See, always good to double check. Perfect. So let's see what it pulls out about the ARFC. Perfect. I like that it now tells you what's thinking before it does, and which is a fun thing. So initially, ChatGPT and all those guys are like, we can't do that. It's a black box. We can't do. It's just impossible. And then there's this little company in China they dropped a model called DeepSeek, and it could do that. And all of a sudden, they're like, oh yeah, we were kidding. We could do it all along. So that's why sometimes competition is good. Okay, perfect. Let's see here. So it's giving me the file to download. Let's see here. So file no longer available. So I'll just say output. Now you see why I speak, because I type terribly here. Output the file in chat. Looks accurate so far. And the reason why that you can almost count on AI, on ChatGPT and a lot of these other models today is because that it has web ability, so it can actually crawl the web to get the actual data that you want. So a lot of times it's gotten better. Again, each model's made it improve the accuracy, so it's gotten better. They can call details, but obviously you want to, in your situation, double check that at least the big things are right. Sometimes you'll not understand small things because. And this is one, a lot of the work we still do is tied to information people know in their heads. It's not been written down, it's not been documented properly, or even if it has been documented, it's bare bones and not the full picture, full intent. So, good idea with that one. But perfect, so yeah, I pulled that information out. So you know what? Let's switch to using this for a sample. How about that? You know, live on the fly. Awesome. So with this, we want to again transform the data, right? So let's say that's okay, and this is the fun part. I want to create a poster about this event. Come up with a prompt that I can give to Canva. So with prompting, one of the prompting techniques that I like to use is called meta prompting. Again, prompt engineering is how you relate with the AI tool to get what you want. But because humans are lazy in how we grab the things, that's really just the best way. But we're very efficient, but we're very lazy. What's going on here? Yeah. So with that, if I want an exact prompt, I ramble with ChatGPT or Gemini for a bit, and then I'll say, hey, based on this, I want to do this work in a different tool. Give me a prompt. And it says, voila, look at that. Create a professional conference poster for disclosure, blah, blah, blah. Cool. All right, that looks pretty decent. Even comes with poster size. Again, I bet you would not have included that unless you're like an actual professional. So we'll do this. And if you notice, based on what we learned about prompting, right, it's given a lot of good information, the details, it's context, the constraints are there, with the poster size and all that. So let's see what that does with Canva. So on Canva, if you go to canva.com, Canva AI, paste this in. I hit enter. Let that go to work. You might be wondering, so what does this even look like on like a ChatGPT or Gemini? Let's find out. So open now, say, okay, create an image. Perfect. Paste this in here. Great. And then just for fun, I'm also going to open up Gemini. Perfect. Okay. I'm using Pro on Gemini, so your results might be different. But paste this up. Let's see. So we have 3 different AI models all competing to create an image. So let's come back to Canva. Let's see what's doing here. Preparing everything, working on it. Okay. Gemini is doing a thing, it's creating an image. Awesome. Setting the scene, polish the details. I really love that. Again, it's like I'm thinking here. Let me cook. Awesome. Voila. So, it's very cool. So let's zoom into here. So this is the posters. Now you probably noticed something. That's a lot of text, isn't it? It's a lot of text. I love the initial stuff. That's a lot of text. Let's see what's going on. Ooh. Simple. Clean. Got the dates and time. Yeah. It's come up with a bunch of random marketing things here, so I probably want to get rid of those. But like, good start. Again, the text is kind of jumbled up, but I can see where it's going. Look at that. Power impossible. Okay, this could be an almost winner. So from this, we've gotten at least 2 good designs. Let's go back to ChatGPT. One last week. So we can one last week for a while now. Let's go to Gemini. Let's have a look here. Let's look into this. This is Gemini's. So Gemini's based from Google, by the way. So we have this. Look at that. Pretty fun. And ChatGPT is still cooking. It takes a while, but it'll get there eventually. But I just wanted to show you guys all that. So clearly you can already do this. But the reason I like Canva versus the other tools, I just probably noticed this. To edit anything here, I have to re-prompt the engine. But with Canva, I can go straight in and just edit it. If I want the text to change, I just go in and edit the change. Right? So that's a much different experience than using a Gemini. Now, still with transforming tools here. So we took the background information from the website, we created a poster. Now let's, what goes with a poster? Well, we usually, look at that. That's a lot of things in there. If they wouldn't have the QR code, look at that. Now, clearly that's not a website, but you can do that. So the reason you probably notice the image quality, right? So Canva gave us a bunch of examples and some of the classic things we're probably going to look for. Gemini gave us something not bad, honestly, but ChatGPT, wow. They just released a new version of the image model engine, and that's why it's going to do so much. So a couple years ago, especially when the book came out, and even after early last year, AI was terrible at text for posters. Do you see any crazy things going on here? No? It's even got real people. I'm sure they're in the room with us right now. Yes.
If you go now and say, make this less busy in terms of text.
Let's give it a try. Why not? Let's say, make this less busy.
That's your.
Let's just see what happens while I wait in the background. Okay. So, with that said, I'm going to, so while it's creating that, what I'll do next is go back in here. So, created a poster. With a poster, you want the social media caption, of course. So let's say, let's see here. All right, let's create social media caption and actually also create a blog as well. So I want caption for the blog for social media. And we also need a blog for LinkedIn because why not? Also, could you give me different demographics? I want, for social media, I want demographics for teens versus professionals versus families and the general public. Okay, that kind of looks roughly, right? I'll send her in. So while that's working, let's see what's going on here. So it's still doing that for a bit. Awesome. So okay, we looked at the posters. We're trying to come up with all this stuff here. Okay, so we'll likely do into layers, broad awareness of things happening in Halifax, audience specific relevance. Why should I care? So it said social media demographics. So teens, students, early career. I feel there's a student in the room. Does this sound exciting to you? Yeah. Perfect. Professionals. There are professionals in the room. Does this kind of sound exciting to you? Yeah. Families and community members, and then general public caption. What we're talking about. You could have done all of this, but you just spent some time doing it. This is now a really, really good start. And what's cool is you could bring in your brand toolkit into this and say, okay, hey, this is our usual, the way we actually speak, and this is our official brand. Make sure it sounds like that, and your life will be much better. So, just in keeping with time here, I'm going to keep speeding along. Let's see here. Copy all of this. Go into Gemini. So I'm just jumping through tools. Now ChatGPT, you can create presentations in there, but you know, ChatGPT isn't like a native PowerPoint Office tool, but Google is. So through Gemini, they're really selling this up. So if you're, if you're a Google Office or you use Google anyway, thanks to they just had a Google I/O. So there's a lot of AI features that just came out like yesterday, and I'm still catching up. But one of the fun things I like to do is use Google to create presentations. The one I'm presenting, I created with another AI tool. So I'm gonna say, I use Google, but no, I just use a different tool. But this, we're gonna create a live presentation here with Gemini. Perfect. So let's see here. Let's create a live deck. Awesome. Let's open it up and see what's going on. Look at that. That looks like a real place, right? There we go. Navigating the changing sector, students and LA career professionals and decision makers. It's got a bunch of the big picture. Now, if I have time, I'll go over and make sure all the slides are correct and all the fun stuff are there. But it's cool. And because of Google, they had to stick this spot in and they include the image sources. So that's also fun stuff. But they actually went in and went out to the web and found real stuff. So pretty cool stuff. But if that was just it, that would be so boring. So let's make this even more fun. Thanks to Google, we can create vids.new. So if you look at vids.new, it will give you this site. So Google now lets you create videos on their platform. And again, this is something that ChatGPT just doesn't have the capability to do. One is a multi-trillion-dollar company that's been in existence for a while, and one is ChatGPT. So with that said, if you start vids.new, you go in here, so convert slides. I imported this directly into my Google Drives, or I could have uploaded it. It does have an upload option. So we'll say select, perfect, selecting the slides, awesome. Okay, I'll remove the image one because I don't want that to be in there. Perfect. Next, now it's generating the script for you. Perfect. You can go through and double check it again, just for the sake of time. I'm going. Obviously, it's given terrible emails and website because I didn't give those the correct information. But other than that, let's say here. So it's this is interesting. Okay, you know what? This is a new feature. Before I'd only let you just do the audio, so this will be interesting to have. So we'll have an AI avatar with us. All right, okay. Let's create the draft video. And I know I told the tech guys no audio. I forgot about this part, but it's fine. It's not important. So boom. I always like to say that. smoothing things over, polishing the slides. Already monitoring. Okay, so let's just go ahead and hit play. Oh, let's give it 1 second here. Just gonna crank up my volume. You don't really need to hear it, but let's see here. Where's my volume? Oh, what's lazy? Let's do yeah. Pictures going here.
2026 in Halifax, Nova Scotia. ARFC 2026 is your idea. It is important. Recreation is about community connection, wellness, belonging, and shared experiences.
Yes.
We bring together the
Do you know if we could put like a photo of yourself in there? And, like,
Probably. So when I did this demo like last week, that wasn't an option to do avatars, now it is. I'm just finding out at the same time you guys are. So probably, yes. Any other questions? Yes.
I got questions. Back to the poster
Yes.
before this demo. I've used these tools for quite some time.
Mhm.
From time to time, we get some negative feedback on our social medias from graphic design persons or people in that industry that are no longer getting work because we're using AI features. As a municipality, what advice would you give me? I want to go back and say, well, we're very limited resources, so we're doing our best to advance our department. I guess that would be my most logical response to them. Is there anything else that you would suggest in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, again, you just kind of lined out the logical part of it. It's like, when you guys, before you used AI, were you going to hire them to begin with? Like the actual graphic guys? Like how often?
I have decreased the amount of graphic design.
Okay, so you've decreased the budget, but ultimately you're coming from this angle saying, okay, and this is where it's kind of difficult. If you're just purely corporate, like, you know what, we're saving money, that's it. But you're a community organization, right? So maybe there is that fine line that can be walked. And this is where things like an AI policy and an AI disclosure statement comes in to say, okay, yes, we do use AIs for a lot of our social media posts, but it's still real in the post net. However, for any big events, we're going to bring in artists.
And I do. I
There we
still
go.
do a combination of both.
And that's just going to be the way it is. Now, if you are just a strictly like an artistic organization, then obviously, hey, you want to make sure that you say, well, we'll never use AI for art because we're an art-based organization. But you're a municipal government with high budgets, you're like, okay, I can't have a graphic designer for every poster. But with AI now, hey, I can at least get, the basic community posters, we'll do that with AI. But when it comes to big events, our big 20,000, 20,000 people event, 2,000 people event, we have the budget to actually hire people, we'll do that. And then it's worth their time as well. I'm sure there are lots of discussions we can have on that, but it is a real case, yes. So, yes.
Using AI used in recreation for scheduling purposes, so you schedule
Oh, yeah?
a facility, you've got multiple committee uses, you can't give everybody the offers.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the examples. Good segue to the book. Thanks for that. She's not a bad applicant. Well, in this book, I go over like 6 examples of how to use AI. We really only use like 3 or 4 demos. There are like 6, a whole bunch of other examples in here. And part of it is using it to do scheduling. And again, my big warning with that is just saying that, hey, when you schedule, remember that, you know, if the AI doesn't have the data, it can't fix stuff. So as a supervisor or manager, still take the time to look at it and make sure that it is correct. But yes, it's possible. Any other questions before we round off here? Awesome. All right, I'm just going to skip to the end of the slides. All right, great. Well, thank you all. This has been a fantastic presentation. Like I said, you can grab the book either from me or from Amazon. If you have any feedback, please complete the survey. You'll get some nice little bonus at the end, but I also want to hear what you think. And you can find me on LinkedIn. You can also get my business card up front. With that said, thank you all so very much.
Just on behalf of our planning committee, just a small token of appreciation for you, Toby, and for the session. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I think this is the start of this conversation. Certainly challenged the 5 organizations, you know, Reckitt, Labrador, Nova Scotia PEI, facilities, Nova Scotia, certainly to keep working with Toby and keep advancing this conversation, because I think it's a conversation that we can have every conference that we do, and continue to grow that conversation and exactly what's in your book. So thank you very much, Toby. It was an excellent session. Folks, I got great news. You have free time until 6 o'clock.